Coming up today on the show, we are absolutely 100% definitely going to go into the inbox. I promise.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it until you play the jingle.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, Shaun Preece. We got to the end of the week. I'm just fixing my shirt collar here because, you know, I always want to look nice on the
Talk about professional.
on the radio.
Come on now.
Hi, how are you? You all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, I am being serious, though. I am withholding my wee until that jingle is played because, you know, yesterday, what a disgrace, Stephen Scott.
Yeah, you're right.
You promised the inbox and then nothing.
You are a disgrace. I gave you choices. I said it's like choose your own adventure game. You could have easily chosen emails. You could have chosen the listener first. Instead, you chose your own curiosity about my purchases. You are an absolute disgrace to humanity.
Am I? Well, that's interesting. I think we should jump straight into the inbox and see what the emails.
We get email.
Oh, yeah.
Get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Here's your mail today.
Eesh.
Someone's at the door for Stephen. And he's oddly enough from Pennsylvania, I believe. Lovely guy. Yeah, because we've got an email up first from our good friend Greg in Pennsylvania. Shall we just dive right in?
I think so. Whee!
Hello, Stephen. I just listened to your extra where you talked about tipping in North America. That poor waitress. What you did was the cultural equivalent of spitting in her face. Clearly you don't understand. I know you are actually a pretty kind person.
Yeah.
The reason restaurant meals in the UK cost twice as much or more than they do in the US is a cultural difference that revolves around tipping. That waitress actually had to pay income tax on the tip you did not give her, as they get charged a percentage of their checks for tip income on their tax statements. You unknowingly behaved so horribly. Keep that in mind if you ever return. Greg in Pennsylvania.
Oof.
Yep.
Dear.
So, Stephen Scott, what have you got to say about that? You are, you spat in that poor server's face.
I'm slightly... how can I put this? What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word.
I don't know.
I'm slightly distracted. That's the word. Ironically, I couldn't find the word distracted whilst being distracted trying to find the word. Because the drink that I brought to the studio with me today, it has already been drunk. Half of it's already been drunk. Drank?
Yeah, by you.
Drunk? No, I didn't drink this. It's also been opened as well, so I don't know who's been in this.
Is it drunk or drank?
I don't know. I think it's
Feedback at doubletaponair.com in this scenario. Don't try and deflect anyway, Stephen Scott.
I wasn't trying to distract or deflect or whatever it was.
Tipping. So this was after you declined the request to tip.
Yes.
In America.
Yeah, so the story was I was in a restaurant. Actually, I think I was in Montreal. I did it in America as well. But I've been horrible in many countries.
Yes.
But no, I was in Montreal. It happened where someone had breakfast and they asked, how, because they kept asking me to fill out this form. And I couldn't understand what they were asking me to fill out. You put this in here and you put the total in here. And I'm like, what do you know the total? Why am I asking me? And so the story was that I said, look, she said, what do you want to put in here for tip? And I just said, score that out. Because I don't do that. It's not a thing I generally do. What I generally do, if I'm honest, is I would leave money on the table. I mean, that was a kind of a bit of a traditional thing we used to do here. Still do, I guess, to some degree in the UK. You would leave something on the table. A bit harder nowadays, of course, with cards and all that kind of stuff. So, and often that thing of, and it's a very British response, I think, because the question I often ask is, if I am leaving a tip for someone in a restaurant, and it usually is after good service, I mean, it's not just a fait accompli, you're just going to absolutely instantly get a tip just because you exist. I don't think that's right.
Well, no, it's all about the culture, as Greg rightfully says.
Well, that's a different thing,
Stephen
right? That's a different thing. I didn't understand
those poor servers
that.
need to pay tax on that.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, again, ignorance is no defence, Stephen.
Oh, well,
Scott.
absolutely is in my case. It's the only one I've got. I know it's not I guess it's not a nice thing. It's not a thing that us Brits do. I mean, it's funny, actually, when you have Americans who come here and they try and tip, they're often very confused. No one's, don't be silly, don't do that.
I'm going to throw myself under your bus, Stephen Scott, because I agreed with you. It's just something that we don't do I mean, I do it over here because it has creeped over with the chip and pin machine that they bring to your table. And they're very rarely, if ever, I don't think, accessible.
Well, yeah.
So I asked the waiter there, okay, and he'll say, so do you want to give a, call it something else, service, whatever.
Service charge, yeah.
Service charge. How much of a service charge do you want to put on that? Nothing. Absolutely not. What a silly question. Of course I don't. It's not in our culture to do that. Now, like you say, unless you get particularly good service, then absolutely. But as a just go-to because, no.
Well, the thing that gets me as well is not only the expectation of the tip, which really annoys me, but also the demand for a certain amount as well. I mean, I didn't understand for a long time. Remember, you used to see these ads, or usually it was through Apple events. I would see this kind of thing where they'd say, "Oh, here's an app that helps you understand the tip, or work out what the tip will be at a restaurant." And I was just to think, why is that a thing? Why would you need a calculator to work out the tip?
Yeah.
And of course, it was all because it was all to do with percentages. If the meal costs this, then it should be a percentage of that equals the amount. I'm sorry, that is just foreign to me. I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Is this a generational thing? Because we are seeing it more and more now with Uber, with every delivery that I get from a takeaway service.
Do you ever tip your Uber driver?
You know what I do? If, for example, I a trip to the Manchester Piccadilly train station, and I hate going there because you got to find from the drop-off point, you got to find the entrance and then find the button to talk to assistants. Nightmare. And usually they'll just drop me off, and then I throw myself on the public to get me in there. But every now and again, a driver will get out, take me in there, press the button, and then run off to save his taxi from being stolen or whatever. And in that case, I always give him a tip.
Yeah.
Because I think, he's gone above and beyond. So for that reason, absolutely, a tip is appropriate. But for anything else, if you just drop me off there, thank you. But that's not worth the tip. I'm paying already.
I mean, I often think it's funny that the things we tip people for and the things we wouldn't. So nobody tips the train driver or the bus driver. No one says, here's an extra 10% because you did this fantastically well, or you managed to get me to my work 5 minutes earlier than I was expecting. You would never do that. That would be weird to do that.
Has anyone watched the film Reservoir Dogs? This is the exact speech.
Oh, is
Society tells you to tip these people over here, but not these people over there.
I need to watch that movie again. Okay.
And if you put a petition in front of me saying that these people deserve better wages, then I will sign it. But I'm not going to tip just because.
Well, that's kind of my view. I think people should be paid better for the role they do, and it shouldn't be upon the customers.
Doesn't it take the employee, or the employer, I should say, out of the responsibility?
I think Greg's point there kind of says it all. It's become culture. And actually, it's not a great culture. If I'm sorry, but it's not a great culture to end up in where, you're expecting everyone else to pay the wages. I mean, look, you're already paying for the meal, and in some cases, you're paying a considerable amount of money for a meal. Then there's that expectation that you'll pay more to staff who, sometimes, yes, deserve a tip, but, a lot of the times they're just doing their job. I'm sorry, but
He's doubling down.
But again, if I was to go into other places, I think on that episode I told the story of being in a superstore here in the UK where I asked for something, and the lady went off, and she was amazing. Not only did she find it, she actually said, "I don't think we have this in store. I'll go and check for you, but I don't think we've got it." She came back, she said, "I don't have this." And I said, "Not a problem at all." She then later came running towards me saying, I found it. I was in the back and I found it. And in that moment, if I had said, "Here's £10, she'd have thought I was insane. Because you don't do that. Because culturally, you just don't do that here. And it's not part of the culture. It's also not part, you wouldn't even do that in a Walmart, I would imagine, in the States. Because someone would say, "Why are you giving me money? This is not the right way to do it." So I just know, I'm sorry. It might be a cultural thing. I think it's become a cultural thing. It's not, I don't think it is a culture. I think it's become a culture. I'm
with Greg. I'm sorry. When in Rome, Stephen Scott, you adhere to those cultures.
Listen, I have been chucked out of New York restaurants for my views on this stuff. And what really gets me is the amount of money I'm spending to be in that restaurant. And at the end, and the experience I had where someone actually threw us out of the restaurant, we hadn't even paid the bill. And the manager came over and said, "Is there a problem?" And in my Scottish accent, I said, "Not yet."
Oh.
And he said, because I thought, well, what's the issue here? And so he said, well, in our culture, in our countries, he said, in our country, it's, the culture that we tip. And I said, well, in my culture, we pay for the meal first, and then we decide what the tip is going to be. And I have to say, it was, and I said as well, I said, that number is going down by the second over here because of this conversation.
Wow.
It was the expectation of it. And it was, and I thought, what gets me is, this was the manager. This wasn't the person who served us. And I thought, is this person even going to see the money I give? Because that irritates me, especially by card. You think, is this person going to actually see the money?
Which is why it used to always be leave the money on the table for the server when they pick it up.
Or it used to be you would say to the person at the end, here, this is for you. I used to do that all the time. I used to do it probably, I used to do that more, actually, when I think about it, years ago than I do now because of cards and all the rest. I'm just more wary of...
Cashless society, another...
I don't know if it's good.
Dystopia.
If for that world, I don't know if it's a great thing. I think ultimately the answer is, pay people better. It's not that you tell me every restaurant's not making any money at all.
Oh, yeah. In the ideal world, Stephen Scott, but we're living in reality.
Yeah,
I'm really giving it to you.
I don't care. I'm not going to change my view on it. I'm not. Sorry, guys.
He was thrown out of a restaurant and he still didn't change his
I was thrown out of a
views.
restaurant in New York and in Montreal and no doubt other places I should have been thrown out. But no, again, I won't fight you on it. It's just that I feel they come to me with a fight. It's like actually coming up to you and being quite aggressive about it. And it's like, whoa, hang on. If you did something, like I say, if someone does something, or, like the Uber driver you talked about, I had a similar experience where I'd actually stupidly put the wrong address in. So I think the delivery was going to my mum's house rather than to me. So I called the driver and I said, look, actually, can you bring it round to me? I'm so sorry, but I've put the wrong address on. And I said, look, and he's like, it's just I'm supposed to. I said, look, I'll give you a tip. And I could put like 15% or something on the tip. And I thought, that's a reasonable thing to do because that guy's now had to come out of his way to do that. That's fair. It's just the expectation that irritates me. So that's my view. If it makes me a horrible person,
Greg.
then I don't know what
Then
to
you're
tell
right.
you. Yeah, that's right, yeah. I've nothing I could do to defend myself beyond tell you, I think.
Dear. Feedback at doubletaponair.com.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get
Let
something.
Stephen know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear people on that one. And again, it's where you are in the world that seems to make the impact on that one. Anyway, Gregory's been in touch.
Hey guys, this is Gregory. You asked for it, so here it is.
Uh-oh.
You wanted some submissions for your nicknames or whatever you were asking for. What about the Bickersons?
Oh.
Or I thought of Gruff and Tough.
Oh.
I'm
Because I
tough.
heard Shaun say the word tough the other day when people were stumbling over his cane. I'd never heard that before, tough. Somebody's always toughing with you or messing with you. That's Stephen, Gruff. So Gruff and Tough. I hope you get a lot more submissions because I think it will be very interesting. So guys, thanks again. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Gregory. So we were chatting. I can't even remember the nature of this conversation, but we were talking about, I think someone had come up with, or we'd come up with names. Was it when I was talking about animals? We were talking about how, I always wanted to call my animals, my, pets, inappropriate names like Sam and Ella.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And I said someone should come up with a name for us. The Bickersons. I like that. The Bickersons sounds like some 60s TV show. You and I yelling at each other like I Love Lucy.
Sounds like a reality TV show to me. I'm all in. Slightly
New
worried
on
about
Prime.
Gruff and Tough. Simply because I can't remember saying tough, and that's not a word. It's probably just something I mangled up during the.
No. I think you might have been using it in the context of if someone falls over you, tough.
I see. Yes.
Again, it's that thing of I love how language develops in different places, right? And how it comes
Let's not
across to
expand
people.
on it. Yeah.
Well, they threw me under a bus for 12 minutes about tipping, so I think I can pick you up on the word tough.
More. Okay. Thank you, Gregory.
I think we have got a few on this. Actually, we'll come back to this topic.
Oh.
Yeah. I think a few people have come up with different names for us.
Why did we
Stay
ask?
tuned. Okay, let's go to Damien.
Hi guys, Damien, aka the Blind Barrister here.
Oh,
Just listening to the prices you pay for trains, in the Republic of Ireland, much as I give out about the AI being blocked coming into the EU in so many ways, we do have free travel. So anybody who is blind gets free travel for themselves and a companion, unlimited, and on every form of transport, buses, trains, light rail. So that makes a big difference.
I bet it does. Oh, is that it? Right, okay, thank you.
That's it. Just gone.
Thanks, Damien.
He's off on a train.
Yeah, a train to catch.
Again, this is very regional to wherever you are. We in Manchester here, there's the disabled person's free travel pass, and I can get a train, a bus in a specific mileage, right? Distance. Once you reach a certain point, then it's no longer free. So, yeah, it depends where you are in the world. I'm sure there's various schemes out there for disabled travel.
Yeah, in Scotland, you can travel for free on any mode of transport, anywhere in the country.
Bike, skateboard,
Sheep.
roller skates, haggis.
Haggis, yep, very popular, especially haggis on wheels.
Yeah. But is that throughout the entirety of Scotland?
Yes.
Is
so
that
you
to the Hebrides and the Highlands, to the Lowlands, and I don't know any other places?
from your, I was going to try and sing a Scottish song, but I
Yeah,
forgot the
please
words of
don't.
it. Yeah, not very. I'm never employed by Visit Scotland. I'll tell you that. But no, it's very much. Yeah, you can go from the borders, right from the borders of Scotland, right up to the very top, as far as you can go onto the islands, even via ferry. You can use the trains, you can use the subway, you can use the buses. It's all free if you're blind.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
I think it's also why the Scottish government don't have any money.
That's all right.
So that's another
We'll
issue.
support you, Stephen.
Thanks.
We'll give you a tip.
It's weird
all
though. It's weird though, right? Because when you travel from Scotland to England, they tell you that what you're supposed to do, and it's very hard to do this because you have to kind of really work out your trains properly, but you don't actually have to pay for the travel in Scotland part, right? So if you're traveling from, say, Glasgow to London, you're going to pass through maybe 2 or 3 stations on the way. And what they say is you should pay from the first station the train arrives at in England. And that's where you pay
absolutely
from.
correct. That's just what I was going to say. If I'm traveling outside of Manchester, I don't. Yeah, you always do, but I mean, you can say I'm only paying from here, whatever the station outside of your jurisdiction,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. So yeah, absolutely right.
But if you're buying a ticket for a train
yeah,
that's like
Good luck trying to
a
get that.
specific time, try to work out, okay, hang on, that train leaves there. It's like one of
Yeah.
those, it's like one of those, 3 trains leave Manchester, at 12 o'clock and one of them ends up with a cold or, whatever it is. So yeah, it's a bit bizarre, but it's not a great system in a way. I mean, it's funny that England does seem to have this fragmented approach to it, whereas Ireland and Scotland, it seems, have these schemes that, are across the board.
Well, it's annoying. I've travelled from Manchester down to Bristol and tried to use my, disabled person's free travel pass on a bus in Bristol, and absolutely not. That's only for Manchester. We don't. I understand it, but at the same time, you think, come on. I'm sure you've got a similar scheme. It's just I don't have it.
So the charities in Scotland have been trying to push this for a long time to enable what's called concessionary travel, along with a carer or someone with you. So a +1 essentially on the card. So if you were with someone, they would travel for free as well. And it kind of was available in certain parts of Scotland, but there was a time where if you wanted to travel from, say, Glasgow to Edinburgh, you had to pay like from a certain part in that journey. So if you got someone, let's say that the train conductor, the person who's doing the tickets, comes on the train at Glasgow, and the train sets off, and they check your tickets, no issue. But if someone came on halfway through that journey, as you get into Stirling and you're heading towards Edinburgh, then suddenly there's an issue because you'd crossed out of the area where that was allowed. So that person would now have to pay full price.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
These stupid schemes that seem to... And anyway, they're trying to fix it now, and I think it's been resolved. But yeah, I've been interested to know what it's like in Canada and across the States, because I imagine the States, it must be very different from place to place. And also the availability of public transport. We're very lucky in the UK. We do actually have very good transport links. I think there's a lot of
Because
places
it's tiny.
Well, that's right, and it's a much smaller island. It's easier to build it, right? But in the States, you have so many places where it might only be the national rail, like Amtrak or whatever you've got running through your town, nothing else. So, you don't have, if you're in a city like New York or Chicago or LA or something, then that's one thing. And of course, I know from personal experience, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal have excellent public transport links. In fact, so good, in fact, I only got hit by one of the buses as I tried to cross the road.
Running out of a restaurant.
That's right, chased by an angry restaurateur. Yeah. Right, let's go to David.
I enjoyed your episode regarding mini PCs. I have been using one for the last 5.5 years. They're great, as long as you get used to the fact that it doesn't have a battery, the speaker is very low quality, there's no keyboard, and in my case, no Bluetooth capability. You also want to make sure it has a Wi-Fi antenna. I've adjusted to all these things and come up with solutions that make the mini PC work really well. It takes far less space than a laptop. I have an idea that I wish a company like Humanware would consider. What if there was a way that you could leave your mini PC at home and, with your Mantis Q40 at an entirely different location and using Remote Incident Manager, be able to operate your mini PC? I'm not sure if something like that would be possible, but I think it would be great if it is. Thanks for all your good work. David from Ontario.
Thanks, David. I love that idea. I mean, I've seen a few people suggesting this. Would it be possible to have like almost what would you call it? Like
a
thin
remote
client?
connection.
Or, a remote connection directly back in, but through something like the Mantis. Well, I don't know if that would be feasible with the Mantis, but I'm wondering about other devices. I mean, I'm thinking about the Selvis Braille displays with the operating system on it, running Android, isn't it? So in theory...
Absolutely no reason why not. Yeah, well, what's the Mantis running? Its own proprietary OS?
I don't know what it runs.
Something.
I don't know what it runs, actually. If it's Android, then it absolutely could do it.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. And you know what? The mini PCs, they've been around for years and years. And you're right. Previously, Wi-Fi wasn't included, the Bluetooth, anything to get that form factor down to the smallest size, they would leave out. And you'd simply have to add a USB hub and add a dongle or whatever in, which was fine, right? But that was the thing. But it was always the power. The performance just wasn't quite there, I think, before. But in the last few years, that's really changed with the CPUs that are available and the amount of energy that they need and the size of them. Well, as you said, Stephen Scott, it's quite impressive now, the mini PCs.
Yeah, and also they have improved a lot. I mean, the ones I have, in particular from Geekom, that does have Wi-Fi, it does have Bluetooth, and it does have an Ethernet port as well. In fact, these are some of the few devices I've seen that have not just regular gigabit Ethernet ports, but even 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports.
Yeah.
There's even the one, that new one they've just brought out. I think they announced it at IFA this year, which was the A9 Mega, which has got this really high-end AMD, I think it's the 9i AI processor in there, really powerful, 32 gig of RAM, 2 terabytes storage, really, really high-end, and it's got loads of ports. It's a slightly bigger device than the one I've got. In fact, I'd say it's more like and more akin to the older Mac Mini in terms of size, I think.
Oh, really?
Based on what I'm hearing. But it's got 2 Ethernet ports, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports in there, which you can band together and have a really, really fast connection if you wanted to. Again, these are built for, I guess, potential server farms or potentially for use with AI applications, to run in AI applications. Probably not designed for the average consumer. But if you were a regular consumer who's prepared to spend $1,000 on one of these, then you're going to get a lot of machine for your money, that's for sure. And for blind people, we don't care about, the aesthetics too much. I mean, it's a nice looking machine from what I understand, but it's also, it's very small. Doesn't have a battery, no, because they are desktop computers. So it has been a thought of mine. I'd love to find a way to turn this into a portable machine. I mean, the fact that Geekom sell a bag for it makes me immediately keen to find a way to make it work. I suppose it's possible, but I haven't really gone that far.
He was using a Mac Mini as a port. Was it Mickey B?
It was Michael,
who tried that. Yeah, okay.
It's not
pushing
ideal.
It a little bit.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And
carrying
of
a
course
car battery around with you.
It's that proprietary type, that old style, as I would call it, power connector. It's not the figure of 8 one. It's just a standard adapter type.
Yeah, it's a barrel pin
adapter
because that's right. Okay, very nice though.
It is, but it depends on what you're buying. But again, if you're checking these out, don't think you're not going to get Bluetooth. I mean, someone asked me, do you get an Ethernet port? And it's like, yes, you do. The Geekom one I've got has got that single. Again, that sounds like a downgrade now. Oh, well, it's only got one Ethernet port as opposed to every other machine in the world that has one. But yeah, they have one 2.5 gigabyte Ethernet port in that A5 version that I've got from Geekom. And it's got Bluetooth in there. I don't know which. I think it's one, maybe 5.2 that's in it, or 5.3. And then it's got Wi-Fi 6. So
everything
fine.
you could want. Yeah.
And you don't even need the little connectors at the back. The little connector. I mentioned saying that I am using it only with the cable connected. So
do you mean the little Wi-Fi antennas?
Yes.
Oh, I hated those, but yes. Okay, very cool.
Okay.
More.
Yeah, let's do more. I'm just watching time here because we will take a short break in a minute. But let's go to Brian first.
Hi, Shaun mentioned that he misses WordPad. Well, if you search on YouTube, there is a video that explains how to download WordPad, install it on your machine, and use it like it's never gone away. I use it quite often. Best, Brian Williams.
Brian Williams, host of NBC Nightly News, listens to us on our show.
The B-man, Billy Williams. Hey, Brian, thank you so much. You could have just told me how to do it. That would have been nice. But no, there are many
Do it yourself. He's not going to do your homework for you.
There's many YouTube videos about WordPad has been discontinued by Microsoft. So in your latest versions of Windows, you will not find WordPad, which I think is a real shame because I thought it was good. The only trouble is, now, there's a couple of ways to do this. The first way is to open your start menu and type optional features. That'll take you to your settings and you'll see a list of all the things that aren't installed on your Windows system that you can install, such as Internet Explorer, for example. Who would want to? And some of the videos say WordPad is in there. In my version, 24H2, it isn't. So I can't install it from there. So that doesn't work. The other way is just to copy the WordPad exe and dependencies from, let's say, Windows 10 or earlier version of Windows 11. You'll find it in Program Files, Windows NT, Accessories folder. You'll find all the files in there and just copy it across. You can run it as almost like a portable, right? Copy it across, put it in the same place on your Windows 11, and you've got WordPad back. I don't have a way to get that. I'm not that desperate that I'm going to download a WordPad exe from the internet and trust that it's fine. So, yeah, you're right. Look, there is ways to do that. If you're really, really missing it, then absolutely Google it, check out YouTube, and they will point you in the right direction.
Well done, and thank you for that, because that gives us our quota of technology discussion on the show today.
Oh, yes.
You know who?
Thank you, Brian.
Mr. F will be very happy today. Where F today stands for feedback. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Right, look, we'll be right back. If you want to get involved with the program, here's how. Double Tap thanks Numa Solutions for supporting this podcast and for championing the belief that access to information is a right, not a privilege. From the classroom to the workplace, Numa is transforming how organizations deliver accessible content, empowering blind and print-disabled people to engage fully, independently, and securely. Whether it's providing remote tech support through Remote Incident Manager, turning inaccessible files into readable ones with Scribe, or making virtual meetings inclusive with Scribe for Meetings, Numa's cloud-based tools are paving the way for a more inclusive digital world. Their work isn't just innovative, it's essential. And to celebrate our partnership, they're giving away 10 Remote Incident Manager and 10 Scribe for Document subscriptions exclusively to the Double Tap community. You can sign up at doubletaponair.com/subscribe for your chance to win and stay up to date with everything we're working on.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback at doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Okay, let's get back into the feedback then. And Anne-Marie is up next.
Hello, Double Tappers. And this is a message specifically for Shaun. This is Anne-Marie from the Worcester County in Malvern. So you were asking about where to get hands-on with your Meta Ray-Bans. So my local opticians, or one of the local opticians, it's not actually one I use, but they stock Meta Ray-Bans. So I had a friend who used these particular opticians. So we gave them a ring. They said they had some in stock. So would I like to go up and have a feel around them, have a demo? And they were called Holland Opticians. So I don't actually know whether that's a nationwide brand or not. I probably should have checked before I left you this voice message. But yeah, so some opticians are starting to stock the Meta Ray-Bans. And the optometrist that I saw specifically bought a pair for himself. With clear prescription lenses in, and he uses them all day at work. So I went up, had my demo. I've now bought a pair after listening to your show, so that's your fault. I've just spent 300 quid, near enough, on a pair of Meta Ray-Bans. But in all fairness, you know, you get really good value for money considering the price of tech that we do have to pay for sometimes. So if anyone else is wondering, any of the listeners, then get in touch with your local opticians if you want to get hands-on with a pair. And I'm sure if they in particular don't stock them, they can point you to an optician's in your area that does stock them. So hope you're all well. Thanks ever so much for listening to this message, and I'm glad I could be of help for a change instead of asking for it. All right, take care, everybody.
Aww.
Bye for now.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah,
that was
always
lovely.
welcome
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a great point as well. I don't tend to think of opticians for things like that. Maybe
Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Blind man walks into an optician's.
But you know what? I had to walk in the other week, opticians with me white stick, and I always say, "What are people thinking here?" I know. I've come for a refund. But
these glasses don't work for me.
The opticians is a great place because so many of them do sell those designer sunglasses now anyway. So yeah, there is a good chance you will find the Meta glasses in there if you do want to get hands on, or just go to Stephen's house.
That's right, yeah. Come round. We've got the whole set here. It's funny, actually. So I'm in the Ray-Ban store the other day getting these Meta Ray-Ban glasses. And
Gen 2.
I stupidly asked the question, do you have the Oakley ones? I was then thoroughly admonished by the member of staff.
I would have done the same thing. I would just think, yeah, of course they'll have the Vanguards in there. Why wouldn't they? Oh, it's a different brand.
Yeah, I mean, it's as she said herself. She said it is the same company, but it's a different brand. So you'd have to go to an Oakley store. To which point I'm thinking, I just found this one with Ira. I'm not going to go traipsing around trying to find an Oakley store. Maybe there is one. I mean, the funny thing was, I came out of the Apple store. This was what I was starting to tell you yesterday. Came out of the Apple store, and I said to the guy in the Apple store, "Dude, you don't happen to know if there's anywhere around here that sells these Ray-Ban glasses?" He said, yeah, the Ray-Ban store right across the road. Oh, there you go. I had no idea there was even a store that existed. I knew there was a Ray-Ban store, but I just didn't know it was so close.
Town planning to empty your wallet, Stephen Scott. It's just genius.
All designed just to empty my wallet. Thank you for that, Anne-Marie. Always nice to hear from you. And yeah, keep on trucking. I will say this. I hope you didn't buy, well, I was going to say I hope you didn't buy Gen 1, but if you did buy Gen 1, and you're thinking, well, you're probably still within your time to go and get them returned and get the new version if you want.
Stephen.
No, but here's the thing. So you've got a choice, right? No, but hang on. What I was going to say is, like I said yesterday, if you didn't get Gen 2 and you got Gen 1, I don't think you're missing out on too much. So don't worry about it.
There you go. That's what we wanted. Yes, it's fine.
Battery life, but again, it sounds like a lot of people are probably not going to notice that battery life issue. I think if you're using it all day and you... like me being photosensitive, I want to be wearing my glasses all the time. For me, it's just about having them on my face. I was traveling. I think I said this the other day, when I'm on the train, what I tend to do is turn them off and then just use my AirPods.
Yeah.
It means I'm not killing the battery on these, but hopefully these new ones will last longer. I got the, what was it they called it? Glossy black? As opposed to
gloss,
the matte.
I believe, yes.
Well, no, but there's different colours, right? So it's black, but it's glossy, and it was with green lenses, I believe.
It sounds awful. But
it does. I must admit, when you say green lenses, I think, now do I look like a witch?
Yes. Yes, you do.
I think that's what that person said and shouted at me the other day. I'm sure that sounded kind of like what they said, yeah.
That's what that waitress was saying, yeah, absolutely. Yes, but they say green, I think bright green, but it's not that. I believe mine are green as well. They just seem dark to me. I don't know.
I have no idea.
So does the world.
Oh,
right,
that was beautiful. Wow, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, cheer us all up. Right, okay, let's move on. Who have we got next? Edwina.
Hi, Stephen and Shaun and all the double tappers.
Hello.
It's Edwina here from British Columbia, Canada. I just wanted to give everybody an update. There was a great demo with the Glidance in Vancouver yesterday.
Oh.
I am a pioneer to the Glidance family, so I thought I would go and try out a demo. Would like to report back that it was a fantastic experience. It's one of their older prototypes, but you really get a good feel for how smooth it operates and some of the technology that it's using and how it makes clean, smooth turns around obstacles and corners. So I really had a great time with Amos and Luke from the Glidance team. I love your show and listen all the time, and I love the banter. Now, I've been thinking of a name for the dynamic duo that you two were looking for.
Uh-oh.
And I think Abbott and Costello would be a good one.
Oh.
Or is it Tom and Jerry, or is it Ben and Jerry, the ice cream flavors? Anyhow, happy double tapping, everybody.
Wow.
Ben and Jerry, I like.
Or Tom and Jerry might be more appropriate, I think.
Yeah, but who's who? Is it Jerry was the mouse? Tom was the cat. Tomcat, of course it was.
Tom was the cat. Hang on, Tom was the cat.
Yes.
Jerry was the mouse.
Yes.
That
Thank
is
you.
absolutely correct.
And Jerry always won. Am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, I always eluded the cat. I mean, it was. I suppose the modern equivalent is Itchy and Scratchy, but less
you're
grim.
so young, aren't you? Yeah, sorry,
I know. Sorry, I just
Jerry.
thought I'd bring the youth into it.
Abbott and Costello, who's on first?
That's a bit beyond my time.
Oh dear, this is ridiculous. Foster and Allen. Anyone else? I can't think of any. Okay. Thank you
Foster
very
and Allen.
much.
Now you're talking.
Oh yeah, I knew you knew them. They're even older, are they?
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about here.
Ben and Jerry ice cream. Which
I don't like Ben
flavour
and
would you
Jerry's.
be? There's the
I
question.
don't like it. Fish food and all that stuff. I don't. We could be Hagen Daz. How about that?
Hag and I think I know which one I am. Going by everyone who tells me I've got a face for radio. So yeah,
I'll change my name to Darren, and we're in.
Can
Okay.
you believe that? The CEO of RNIB said that to me the other day. He said,
What?
"You've got a face for radio." Well, thanks for that,
he?
mate. That's really kind. Thanks, appreciate that.
Okay. It was a good reunion then.
Yeah, it went really well. Yeah, felt really welcomed back into the fold after my 5 years absence. Wow.
Okay. Thank you. And it's good to hear about the Glide as well.
Yeah,
'cause it's
yeah.
been a bit quiet. I say that. It hasn't, because they've still been putting out announcements about going out and beta testing with the public members and things like that. So it's still absolutely ongoing, but it just seems that we haven't talked about it in a while.
No, that's right. And it's interesting, she said there about the prototype being used. So that was interesting. It's like, why are they still... Well, that first prototype. You think
Well,
surely
it's
at this
tooling,
stage...
isn't it? Well, yeah, I
Trying
wonder
to-
how many they've got out there. Okay.
What's your
good.
take on all this? I mean, because the thing is, the problem is that you kind of fall into this trap, don't you? That the longer you wait for this to come out, you start to wonder, is it coming out? Is this going to happen? You know, it's like it's going to just get... Obviously, we know it's been pushed back and we've been told why, but there is still that concern, you know, because I think a lot of us are
course.
really interested in
But
this.
it's like that with... That's the tech landscape today. That's what lots of things, I mean, you know, Kickstarters and whatever else. There's so many things that are talked about and promised and previewed that never actually see the light of day. The only difference with this is I've got to meet the team and got to know the team, Amos and Luke and everyone else. So I think if it can happen, it will happen. And obviously they've got the funding behind them. So yeah, I'm not pessimistic about Glide at all. I think it will happen. Will it deliver on everything that people are expecting it to deliver on? We'll have to wait and see, but I think we will see it.
So it was interesting. I was at the WeWalk event last week. Was that last week? I think it was. Goodness
were
me, the
you?
weeks just disappear off.
I wasn't there, Stephen.
No, you weren't.
Where was
'cause
that?
You weren't invited.
I wasn't invited. Oh, I see. Okay. Abbott and Costello. Just Abbott went, did he?
That's
Okay.
right.
Just Hag.
Hag.
No, Daz.
Daz was
Okay.
left behind to dazzle someone else. No, so I went along, and it was interesting, the reaction. I often find it interesting how the blind community sometimes react to these things. I think there was a few people who thought, oh, hang on a minute, Stephen's now become some WeWalk spokesperson now. You know, he's off doing his thing.
Well.
you know, it's interesting to me. I went along for one simple reason. Cake. No, it wasn't that reason. Although, and actually, to be fair, there was no cake.
There was no cake?
There was canapes. Loads of canapes.
Canapes?
Yep, loads of canapes.
I'm glad I wasn't invited. Now
Why?
you
wouldn't have liked any of it. I couldn't eat any of it. I didn't know what to do with it either. And I wasn't sure whether to tip it or eat it. You know, I wasn't sure what to do
You
with
don't
it.
tip.
No, exactly. So I didn't do anything.
If it's not in a cardboard bucket, I'm confused.
I didn't know what to do.
So you're the face of WeWalk? Yes,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, apparently so. And it was interesting because I was asked by someone later on. And it's funny, people don't sometimes ask you the question; they just assume the answer, right? So it was like, you know, oh, so you know, is that you now? Are you the face of WeWalk? And I'm like, well, no, that's not the thing at all. I'm pretty sure WeWalk would be the first to say this is not the face of WeWalk, but
face for radio.
Face for radio, yeah. But I genuinely am enjoying using the WeWalk cane. And I was talking, I think I mentioned this yesterday on the show. We're going to be doing a bit of a walkthrough of a wee walkthrough, as you said, of all the emails that have been coming in, so that I can kind of, instead of doing a review in that traditional sense of this is the cane, this is what it does, actually answering your questions, the questions you've got about it. And a lot of you have been sending in your questions, so we're going to collate all that, and you'll probably hear that maybe even next week. Actually, we'll try and get that on next week, because I'm really keen to do it. And I've had a lot of time with the cane and a lot of experience. But the one thing that I'll say, because look, I said this on stage, and even WeWalk, I don't think we're keen on me saying this. I don't care either way, right? WeWalk didn't pay me any money. Yes, they sent me the cane. Yes, they paid for my hotel and my train, but they didn't pay me to speak about anything. And they didn't pay me to speak about the cane or say anything good or bad about it. And they certainly don't get to dictate my views on it. That's very clear. And
all right.
Well,
you're being very defensive.
Well, I feel I have to be sometimes because
hang on,
all kind of accusations start flying around. You're like, wait a minute, you know
what accusations? But look, we keep talking about people, self-valuing, right? The work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
You got hold of the WeWalk. I was a little bit cynical, but you seem to really enjoy it, right?
Well, hang on. Let me be clear on this. So they sent me the first edition years ago.
Yeah.
And I did not rate that.
No, of course
couldn't rate that at all. No, but you see, of course not. A lot of people did, right? And a lot of people said, oh, it's interesting, it's cool, it's great. But people who were using it every day, trying it out every day, found fault. I mean, first off, you couldn't really take it out in the rain. In Scotland, Canada, that's not going to work very well.
The big thing for me was the interference with the tactile feedback.
Yeah, because you were getting a lot of haptic
rattling
feedback at the same time. And that was a big concern for me generally about these canes. In fact, if anything, it put me off the whole idea of a smart cane entirely, because I thought, I don't want this thing vibrating as I'm walking along. It's going to distract me. Now, interestingly, I've spoken to people since who say, no, I much prefer that haptic feedback. So the key was to bring in some choice. And for me, I preferred, like, for example, with the obstacle detection on WeWalk Cane 2, that they would actually, have some beeps or something rather than haptic. And that was the case. They had done that. They'd built that in. I think they learned a lot from the community. And, I don't think they would admit this too widely, but because no one said this to me from WeWalk, but I think they knew that what they had made at first was a good idea, good concept, but they didn't have enough people in there who were blind using it and testing it at the beginning. And then the second edition comes along. They really listened into feedback. They dealt with and worked with local organizations and national charities, not just in the UK, but around the world. And they really developed what I think is a much better cane. The next step of this, though, because a lot of people bought the WeWalk cane as soon as it came out, the Smart Cane 2, and returned it.
It's just going to make that point.
Yeah. And they sent it back. And that was because a lot of the things that were promised at the beginning didn't show up. A lot of navigation features weren't there. Some things weren't working quite the way they were hoping it would work. There was a lot of issues with calibration of the compass on there. That wasn't great at the beginning.
Battery dying.
I mean, if you just left it lying around, it would just, even if you turned it off, it would still discharge the battery. So there were a lot of issues. Now, a lot of these issues have now been resolved. And that's, I think, why I'm still on board here with this, because I'm noticing something here, which is the company are listening. And they're actively listening and they're responding. Like if I feed back to them or I hear other people have fed back to them, I'm seeing those results coming through in updates. And that's what's intriguing me here. So it's a bit like this. If we think back to the Sonos thing, right, where it was like a complete disaster and reputation destroyed, and there was all this talk about, oh, well, we're listening now. Well, I kind of need to see that in action before we trust it. And that's where I am with a lot of these companies. If I see a company responding and actually listening, then I think, okay, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to put some trust into this. And, you know, we'll talk more detail about it down the line. But I wanted to mention...
No.
What?
Wait a minute. No, look, the point I was making about you seem defensive about this is you've tried this product, no matter what it is, you've tried this product and you like it.
Yeah.
Okay? So if WeWalk did come to you and say, you know what, we do want you to be the face of WeWalk, what would be wrong with that?
Well, personally, I wouldn't do that. And I think the reason I wouldn't do that for me is because I think, you know, the job we do here on this show, I want to try and remain as open to new technologies as much as possible. I don't want to close any doors. You know, so for example, I want to be on stage and talk about other products. And I did do that a little bit at that event. And I'm pretty sure there were a few people who were like, oh, don't mention that product. Oh, don't say that. But at the end of the day, I can't live inside a world where only this thing exists. That's what I don't want to do. So I don't want to do that. Do I want to discourage others from doing it? Absolutely not. If someone else is approached and says, I'll be the face of it, then good for you. You go for it.
I will. WeWalk. Absolutely. I am available. I
Sean
will be the face.
never touched it. He's never touched the WeWalk cane apart from, you know, having mine in his hand once. But, you know, he's absolutely all in. He is your face. And what a face that is.
Thank you.
But no, you know, I find it kind of amusing
serious,
sometimes about it. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes people are quite dismissive of that. And it's almost like, oh, well, you know, sold out to the highest bidder, or, you know, this now makes what you say. I've been accused of this before in the past. And again, completely unfounded. You know, the idea that I, you know, or anyone else would be paid for our views on anything. Look, let's be honest about this. In the content creation world, people are paid for reviews. And you can decide for yourself if that's something that you want to trust or not. I have to put trust in the person who's creating the content, decide if I would rather hear their take on things and their view on it. And that ultimately trumps whether or not I hear, you know, bias in there or not. But we don't do that here. That's not something we do. And I like to be clear on that for people so people understand. People will send us products. And the reason for that is because it's just not feasible for us to physically buy every single accessible tech product that's out there. We just can't do it. It would not be possible. I mean, you imagine how much money it would cost to do this show?
Yeah.
I'd be bankrupt by the end of the week by the time, you know, we even just thought of what was out right now. Yeah, look, buying a pair of sunglasses, that might be one thing. But going out and buying a new braille display every time one shows up, or, you know, some kind of new device that's a new smart navigation system that someone's developed, you know, so we need companies to help us a little bit with that. And when they send us those things...
But that's on the understanding.
Always on the understanding that
this
you don't get to dictate. And look, can I be brutally honest? We've fallen out with some people.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies won't work with us.
Yeah.
Because they say you're too honest. Oh, you told the truth about that product. Or you said you didn't like that product.
Well, they don't say that, but yes.
Well, yeah, okay, they don't go that far. But ultimately we did. Yeah. We told the truth about our feelings on the product. We didn't think it was particularly great. And so therefore, you know, we get tackled there as well by the companies. And you guys don't often hear that. But, you know, there are companies sometimes who'll send us something and we maybe just don't talk about it. Because it's like, you know what, that's not a product I would want to get behind. But I think it's important people understand that process of how this thing works. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't there as a shill for WeWalk, and I'm not there as a shill for anyone, quite frankly. If you want to sell your product, you know, we'll give you airtime. You can come on here. You can talk about your product, but it's on you to sell it, not me. But what I will do is I'll tell you my honest, genuine thoughts on it. Like, you know, the MX keys from Logitech, my favorite keyboard ever. Never paid a penny from Logitech for that comment, by the way. If you're listening, Logitech.
How's that backpack you got?
That's all right. I've never really used it, you know. Still don't understand where I got it from.
No, it might not even be from Logitech.
It might not even be for me. It might be for a neighbour. A neighbour has probably bought a new backpack. Like, where is this backpack gone? Tunes into Double Tap and says, he's got it. Right, let's move on. And where are we at? Let's see. This is I hate leaving one email to the next too long because then I forget my position
Just press
here.
It. It's
right,
exciting.
let's see what happens when we press this one.
Hello. I understand that a listener to your podcast is looking for information about the Braille Sudoku puzzles mentioned by Chris Cook.
Oh.
I'm writing from the place that made them.
Oh.
We have instructions on using these with Braille displays and the Monarch in particular at the following website: s.seeinghands.org/Sudoku. I hope that if you know how to contact them, you can give them access to this. I would be happy to provide any more information I can.
Wow. Okay, there you go. That sounds like it wasn't meant to be read aloud on air, but okay, well, let's just assume it was.
No, I think that's fine. It's giving out the address. s.seeinghands. What was it? com/Sudoku. I don't even know how to spell Sudoku, let alone do one.
We are the worst broadcasters on the planet.
Hey, it's out there. Hit rewind and listen again.
Go back 30 seconds and you'll get all the information you could want.
Very good. Have you ever done a Sudoku?
I don't even know what it is, to be perfectly honest. I thought that was a motorbike, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sudoku
Wasn't it a
500
Jeep at one time.
Thank you. If our listener who wanted to try that out is listening, there you go. You're welcome. We didn't help at all.
You know, you always see get that on a t-shirt. There is a one for definitely for the t-shirt. It's nothing to do with us. It's the double tappers. They do all the work. We just sit here acting like idiots. So we're near the end of the week, and we're going to have. And again, I am terrible at my job. I don't know which one we have, but I know we have an extra coming up this weekend on the Double Tap
Which
Extra
one?
feed. Yeah, well, that's a great question. What you should do tomorrow is check it out on the Double Tap Extra feed. I do know our good friend Robin Christopherson's behind it. I'm racking my brain to remember which one we picked out because he's done a number of different reviews. You might have checked out the last one last weekend, which was all about Rufus. Yeah.
Getting Windows 11 on a incompatible computer. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft, if you're listening, ignore everything. I want to say this is to do with FS Reader. I know we've got one of those coming up.
Just guessing.
I'm now just going to literally throw it out there. It could be absolutely
just test it out.
Anything.
Just tune in and listen. Have a little surprise. It'll be something just for you.
Yeah, exactly.
How long have we got left, Stephen? I want to rant.
Go for it. A couple of minutes.
Okay.
Go.
Quickly, because we're talking about WordPad. Yesterday, I tried to install Word on my partner Sarah's laptop. Okay. I went to office.com because I have a subscription, a family subscription. You can install it onto 5 other people's computer. Went to office.com. Do you know what it did? It took me directly to Copilot 365. And I couldn't get out of it. I was either typing a question to it and tabbing around. There was no other thing there. So I had to ask Copilot how to get rid of Copilot and just install Word on this laptop.
Wow.
And it did tell me, and it said, and I did, it told me, click on this, click on that. And I said, I'm a screen reader user. And it said, yeah, the new office.com and Copilot is a little bit tricky when it comes to accessibility.
Wow.
Well, that's beautiful. It told me to go to office.com/apps. And that takes you directly to, firstly, where you can just use the online version of Word and everything else on. How many apps are in the Office, by the way? There's some I've never even heard of.
Oh, I know.
And also, if you just tab along once, there is install, and you can download the Office setup, which was about 5 gig for the offline version, but you can do it that way as well. So I mean, Copilot everywhere. I get it. It's interesting. It's useful, but it just got in the way. I just wanted to install an Office app, and I thought, I'll go to office.com. Oh, Copilot, straight away. Just what do you want to know? Ridiculous.
So, do you have any issues with NVDA and combo boxes?
Not usually, no.
Because I'm noticing a couple of issues, and someone mentioned it to me the other day. I was talking to someone, and they said, oh yeah, NVDA's had this issue for a while, trying to select something in a combo box.
Alt down arrow to expand the combo box. C as a quick nav to jump to all the combo boxes. And then up and down arrow once you alt down arrow to open it. And then hit enter on something.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it comes down to the particular app or website you're using. Maybe there's some sort of issue there, but
yeah,
I haven't experienced a problem.
Might be more to do with that. Some people have real issues. Like, for example, say you try to download an app and you go into the combo box to choose the version of the app you want for Windows or Mac or whatever. You obviously choose the Windows one. Trying to select that and then actually get it downloaded has been a problem. So for some people anyway. So I don't know if that's the case overall.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been using NVDA a lot recently. The one thing I'll say is, and it's funny because I use it and I think, God, it really needs a bit more work with Outlook. The existing version, not the new version. I haven't tried it on the whatever the new version's. Well, I think it's just called
Outlook.
Yeah, it's just called New Outlook. But on the classic version, which is what I use, the calendar, I used to berate you for not being able to use that calendar.
Stephen Scott.
I take it all
Humiliate
back.
me. Yeah.
I take it all back. It's not great on the calendar at all. I mean, it's fine in the mail view. I think the thing with mail view is get rid of groups, because otherwise it's very verbose.
Oh, yeah.
Group view is a
absolutely.
nightmare in Outlook on that. So if you can get rid of that, it does actually speed things up. But on the calendar, you're tabbing through, you're getting to events. Sometimes it's very inconsistent. You sometimes hit an event, sometimes you don't. You're shift tabbing back to find it. You know it's in there. You can hear it, or it just says it's an all-day event, or there's nothing there. You think,
I takes you to location, it tells me every time. Never works. So I get to an appointment, I hit Alt-I to find that Zoom link or whatever it may be. Doesn't work. You got to try and tab through it, and then it's just a little bit unresponsive. So, thank you, Stephen. Is that just NVDA then? Is that what you're saying? Does it work fine with Jaws?
It does. It's great with Jaws.
There you
Haven't
go.
tried it with
Okay.
Narrator. That's one thing I do need to do, is actually, because you would think Outlook Narrator, they would work
I was
really
using
well.
Narrator yesterday when I was setting up this laptop, and I got to say, it was nice.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
fine.
I know, especially with those voices. Again, it always comes back to those voices.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is we never trust it enough. We never give it the chance.
You know what? When I used it for a while before, after the initial update to the new shiny Narrator, I did use it for a bit on its own, standalone. I still found that it slowed down. The more I used it, especially if you're browsing, you hit that Control-L to jump to the location address bar at the top, and it would take a while to, either go to scan mode. But hey, that was a few years ago, so I'm sure it's improved.
Listen, I did check. I did my homework for you as you were listening, and it is. We're going to be talking about FS Reader, the way to learn how to use JAWS, a very useful tool that a lot of people might have seen on their desktop when you install JAWS. Not quite sure what it is. Well, Robin Christopherson talks you through it on the Double Tap Extra at the weekend. For now, though, that is it for us. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.